The day had started just like any other aboard the research station Horizon, situated at the edge of the known universe. This station was humanity's farthest outpost, a gleaming symbol of curiosity and determination. It orbited a vibrant planet named Celestis, a breathtaking world filled with lush green landscapes and sparkling blue oceans that could be seen from space. Dr. Lyra Fenwick, one of the station's top xenobiologists, prepared for her routine check on the unique species they had been studying. She felt a sense of pride in her work, knowing that every day brought new discoveries. However, today was destined to be anything but ordinary. As Lyra adjusted her microscope, the station's alarm blared, piercing the quiet of the lab. The sound was familiar yet always heart-stopping. Something was approaching the station, something big. The crew rushed to the observation deck, their hearts racing with a mixture of fear and anticipation. Outside, against the backdrop of the infinite cosmos, was an alien vessel. It was enormous, with a sleek, iridescent body that shimmered with colors beyond the human visual spectrum. Commander Theo Grant, the station's head, was the first to regain his composure. Initiate first contact protocols, he ordered, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. The crew scrambled to their stations, sending out standard greeting messages in every known language and several theoretical ones devised by Earth's top linguists and AI experts. The response was instantaneous and startling. The alien ship communicated not through words or digital data, but in a burst of harmonious sounds that resonated through the station's hull, almost as if the ship itself spoke directly to their souls. The crew listened in awe, captivated by the melodic tones. "We need a specialist in exolinguistics now," Commander Grant shouted over the commotion. Lyra stepped back, her mind racing. She had studied these aliens, at least their microbes, for months. Maybe, just maybe, she could help. "I think I can understand them," she said, her voice a mix of uncertainty and excitement. Grant looked at her, assessing her resolve. "Do it." Armed with her knowledge and a translator device she hastily programmed with her theories, Lyra began to interpret the sounds. The messages were complex, layered with emotional and logical content, but a pattern emerged. The aliens, who called themselves the Zypherians, were explorers much like humans. They were peaceful but had entered a critical phase of their life cycle, mating season. This was a sacred and dangerous time for them, and they had never ventured so far from their home planet. As Lyra relayed the information to the crew, a surprising message from the Zypherians took everyone off guard. They needed help. One of their own, a medic specialized in their mating rituals, had gone into a frenzy due to the stress of travel and unfamiliar environments. They were requesting medical assistance. Without hesitation, Commander Grant turned to Lyra. "Dr. Fenwick, prepare to board their ship. You're the closest thing we have to an expert on their biology." As Lyra suited up for the encounter, her mind whirled with thoughts. She was about to make history as the first human to step onto an alien vessel and interact closely with another sentient species. Fear mingled with excitement, but above all, there was a profound sense of purpose. She was no longer just a scientist. She was a bridge between worlds, a beacon of peace in the vast, uncharted universe. As the airlock door sealed behind her, Lyra took a deep breath. There was no turning back now. She was about to come face to face with the Zypherians in a situation more intimate and precarious than she could have ever imagined. Stepping through the Zypherian airlock, a rush of cool, scented air greeted her, a stark contrast to the sterile environment of the Horizon. The ship's interior was a kaleidoscope of organic architecture, walls pulsing gently with a soft bioluminescent glow, and the floor beneath her felt alive, subtly shifting to accommodate her footsteps. It was as if the ship itself was aware of her presence. Guided by the melodic tones that resonated from every corner of the vessel, Lyra moved deeper inside. The corridor widened into a vast chamber, where the gravity subtly shifted, making her feel lighter than usual. In the center of the room, suspended in a column of shimmering light, was the Zypherian medic. The creature was breathtaking, its skin shimmering like stars against the night sky. Its form was fluid, constantly reshaping and reforming, but now it seemed agitated, its movements quick and erratic. Around it, smaller Zephyrians fluttered, their bioluminescent bodies casting soft glows as they attempted to soothe their kin. One of the Zephyrians approached Lyra, its form coalescing into a more humanoid shape. It communicated through a series of harmonic vibrations, which Lyra's translator device rendered into a rough approximation of human speech. "Thank you for coming, Dr. Fenwick," the creature said, its voice echoing in her mind. "Our medic, Zori, is essential to our kind's continuation, but the sudden frenzy has destabilized her. We fear for her life and for the ship." Lyra nodded, her focus sharpening. "How can I assist? What triggers the frenzy in your species?" The Zephyrian's form flickered, showing signs of distress. "It is our connection to the life force of our home planet. Here, Zeri cannot feel the grounding she needs. The frenzy is too strong too early." Understanding dawned on Lyra. The ship's environment needed to mimic the conditions of their home planet, its magnetic fields, its specific atmospheric gases, the ambient energies to which the Zephyrians were evidently sensitive. "I might be able to help," she said, already formulating a plan. "We need to recreate a part of your planet here on your ship. Do you have data on your planet's environmental specifics?" "Yes, much data," the Zephyrian replied, leading her to a side chamber filled with alien technology that hummed and thrummed with life. Lyra worked alongside the Zephyrians, using their data to adjust the ship's environmental controls. It was a delicate process, requiring her to balance variables that were barely understood by human science. As the ship's atmosphere began to shift, the chamber's temperature adjusted, and the bioluminescent lights dimmed to mimic the twilight of the Zephyrian home world. The change in the medic's behavior was almost instantaneous. Zeri's frenzy movements slowed, becoming more deliberate, more serene. Relief washed over Lyra as she watched Zeri stabilize. The other Zephyrians gathered, their tones harmonious, a symphony of gratitude and wonder. In that moment, Lyra realized her mission had evolved beyond mere medical assistance. She was now stepping into the heart of Zephyrian society, revealing the interconnectedness of their culture and their very existence. Together, they were exploring a universe of possibilities that transcended their differences, and as the journey continued, Lyra felt an undeniable bond forming between humans and Zephyrians. With the atmosphere finally attuned to Zeri's needs, the chamber filled with a soft, tranquil glow. Lyra watched as the medic's body began to respond positively, the erratic movements slowing, transitioning into a gentle rhythm. The other Zephyrians radiated relief, their luminous bodies pulsing in a dance of joy. Zeri's form, once chaotic, now glimmered with a sense of stability, and Lyra felt a warmth spread through her heart. It was an extraordinary moment, not just for the Zephyrians, but for her as well. "Thank you, Dr. Fenwick," the Zephyrian who had initially spoken to her said, its voice resonating through the air like a soothing melody. "Your understanding of our needs has saved Zori. You have proven that humans are more than just explorers. You are a vital part of the universe's tapestry." The words struck a chord within Lyra. She had always viewed humanity's place in the universe as one of curiosity and ambition. Yet here, amidst these alien beings, she felt a sense of connection that transcended species. "We are all explorers in our own right," she replied, a smile brightening her face. "Understanding each other is the key to navigating this vast universe." As Zeri continued to stabilize, the Zephyrians gathered around, eager to share their knowledge. They revealed stories of their travels, of planets they had seen, and species they had encountered. Each tale resonated with adventure and discovery, reminding Lyra of humanity's own history. In return, Lyra shared stories of Earth, of its wonders and challenges, the struggles and triumphs that shaped humanity. The more they spoke, the more the boundaries between them began to dissolve. In the following hours, Lyra collaborated with the Zephyrians to adjust the ship's systems, ensuring Zeri's full recovery. They worked in unison, combining their knowledge and skills to create a harmonious environment. The Zephyrians marveled at Lyra's ingenuity, while she admired their ability to adapt and thrive in their unique way. As Zeri began to regain strength, Lyra realized that they were on the brink of something remarkable. The bond forged between them was not just a fleeting moment of cooperation. It could be the foundation for a deeper alliance between humans and Zypherians. She shared this vision with Commander Grant, who had been observing the interactions from the ship's command center. "I believe this is just the beginning," Lyra stated with conviction. "If we can work together, we can achieve so much more. Imagine what we could learn from each other." Commander Grant nodded thoughtfully. "You might be right, Lyra, but there are others in the galaxy who may not share our vision. The Zypherians are explorers, but we need to be prepared for those who may see our collaboration as a threat." Before Lyra could respond, the ship's sensors blared an alert, jolting everyone into action. An ominous presence had entered the vicinity. A massive alien warship had emerged from the depths of space, dwarfing the Zypherian vessel. The ship's hull was scared and angular, bristling with weapons that sent chills down Lyra's spine. "Zypherians, we must prepare." Commander Grant's voice echoed through the ship, filled with urgency. "We don't know their intentions, but we can't risk an attack." The Zypherians reacted immediately, their bodies transforming into defensive formations. "We have seen them before," the first Zypherian explained, its form shimmering with fear. "They are the Corans, conquerors driven by greed and fear. They seek to claim our knowledge and resources." Lyra's heart raced. She knew that the Corans, notorious throughout the galaxy, were not known for mercy. "What can we do?" she asked urgently. "We have to protect not just ourselves, but the Zypherians too." Commander Grant considered their options. "We need to work together. If we combine our strengths, we can create a defensive strategy. The Corans may underestimate our forces, thinking they can easily conquer us." The Zypherians nodded in agreement, their harmonious tones shifting to a determined cadence. "Together, we can repel them," one of them declared. "Your technology and our biological defenses can create a formidable barrier." With time of the essence, Lyra and the Zypherians sprang into action. They worked seamlessly, integrating human technology with the Zypherian ship's organic systems. As they prepared for battle, Lyra's mind raced with possibilities. This wasn't just about survival. It was about proving that unity could triumph over tyranny. The Coran warship loomed closer, its ominous presence casting a shadow over the Zypherian vessel. Lyra and the crew worked furiously, combining their strengths to craft a defensive strategy that utilized both human technology and Zypherian biological defenses. The atmosphere on the ship crackled with tension, but it was also charged with a sense of purpose and unity. "First, we need to enhance the ship's energy shields," Lyra said, glancing at the Zypherian command center. "If we can channel the bioluminescent energy of your ship into our shields, we might create a barrier they can't breach." The Zypherians responded immediately, their forms pulsing in agreement. "We can focus our life energy to amplify your technology," one of them said, radiating determination. As they worked, Lyra felt the bond between them strengthen. She had once thought of humans as the pinnacle of intelligence, but now she understood that wisdom and strength came in many forms. Each Zypherian contributed ideas, drawing on their unique experiences and capabilities, while Lyra infused human ingenuity into the process. Meanwhile, Commander Grant and his team focused on tactical maneuvers. "If we can draw the Corans into the asteroid field nearby, we can use the terrain to our advantage," he proposed. "They're not built for agility, and if we can outmaneuver them, we stand a chance." The crew nodded, setting course for the nearby cluster of asteroids. With the ship ready, Lyra took her place alongside the Zypherian command crew, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Remember," Commander Grant instructed, "the key is to work together. They might see our small fleet as easy prey, but that's our advantage." As the Coran warship approached, Lyra felt a surge of adrenaline. The Corans were known for their ruthless tactics, and their ship was massive, bristling with weaponry designed to intimidate. Yet, as Lyra stood with her new allies, she felt a profound sense of strength and unity. "Prepare to engage," Commander Grant ordered, his voice steady. "Zypherians, channel your energy into the shields." The ship vibrated with power as the Zypherians focused their bioluminescent energy, the colors swirling and pulsing in a dazzling display. Lyra felt the ship respond to the energy, the shields glowing brightly in anticipation of the impending confrontation. The Corans fired their weapons first, a barrage of energy blasts hurtling toward them. Lyra watched in awe as their combined defenses absorbed the blasts, the shields shimmering with the impact but holding firm. "It worked," she exclaimed, exhilaration coursing through her veins. "Now we turn the tide," Commander Grant called out. "Engage evasive maneuvers and head for the asteroid field." As they darted toward the asteroids, the Coran ship pursued, its massive form struggling to navigate the rocky terrain. Lyra could see the Coran crew scrambling, their ship's systems overloaded as they tried to recalibrate. "Now's our chance," she shouted. "Let's show them the true power of our alliance." With precise coordination, the human and Zephyrian crews worked in harmony. Lyra and the Zephyrians guided the ship through the asteroid field, their agility allowing them to slip between rocks while the Corans struggled to follow. The atmosphere on the ship was electric with energy, everyone united in purpose. "Prepare for counterattack," Commander Grant shouted. As they emerged from the asteroid field, Lyra took a deep breath, focusing on the Coran ship. "Let's redirect the energy from our shields into a concentrated beam," she suggested. The Zephyrians quickly adjusted their systems, combining their energy with the ship's weapons. The ship hummed with power as they readied the attack. Firing in 3, 2, 1. The beam shot forth, a brilliant streak of light cutting through the darkness of space. It struck the Coran ship with incredible force, creating a shockwave that rippled through the void. To Lyra's surprise, the Coran ship began to destabilize, its hull buckling under the pressure. The crew cheered as the Corans scrambled to regain control, their arrogance shattered. "We're turning the tide," one of the Zephyrians shouted, their form glowing brighter with excitement. But the Corans were not easily defeated. They initiated a last-ditch maneuver, sending out drones to flank the Zephyrian ship. "They're trying to surround us," Commander Grant warned. "We need to break free before they overwhelm us." Lyra's mind raced. "We can use the ship's bioluminescent capabilities to create a diversion. If we pulse the lights, we can confuse their targeting systems." The Zephyri. As Lyra shared her idea, the Zephyrians nodded in unison, their forms glowing with determination. "We can create a dazzling light show," one of them suggested. "It will disorient their targeting systems and provide us with a moment to escape." "Let's do it," Commander Grant urged. "Zephyrians, pulse your bioluminescence at full strength. On my mark." With tension thick in the air, the crew prepared for the next phase of their plan. Lyra felt a surge of energy as the Zephyrians began to channel their bioluminescent powers. The ship lit up in vibrant colors, blues, greens, and reds swirling together in a breathtaking display. 3, 2, 1, now," Commander Grant commanded. The ship erupted in a cascade of light, pulsating in rhythmic patterns. The Coran drones, caught off guard by the sudden brilliance, faltered, their targeting systems glitching as they struggled to recalibrate. Lyra could see the confusion spread among the Coran crew through the ship's monitors. "Now, move," Grant shouted. The Zephyrian ship surged forward, navigating through the chaos of the drones. Lyra gripped the console tightly, adrenaline coursing through her as they weaved through the oncoming threats. The Coran drones, disoriented and malfunctioning, collided with each other in their attempts to pursue. Lyra couldn't help but feel a rush of exhilaration as they sped past, their plan working flawlessly. "We're breaking through," she yelled, laughter bubbling in her chest. Just as they thought they were safe, however, a massive blast erupted from the Coran warship. "They're firing at us," one of the Zephyrians exclaimed. "They won't let us escape so easily." "Hold on," Grant barked, steering the ship sharply to the left. The blast narrowly missed them, sending a tremor through the ship. "We need to find cover." Lyra quickly scanned the nearby space, spotting an uninhabited moon with a series of craters. "There, we can take refuge in the moon's shadow. It might buy us some time." "Let's go," Grant responded, pushing the ship toward the moon. As they neared the surface, Lyra felt her heart race. They had narrowly escaped the Coran warship's targeting, but they were not out of danger yet. Once they settled behind the moon, Lyra took a moment to breathe, the tension beginning to ebb. "We did it," she exclaimed, turning to the Zypherians. That diversion worked. The Zypherians pulsated with excitement, their bodies flickering with vibrant hues. "Your quick thinking has saved us," one of them said. "We would not have survived without your ingenuity." Lyra felt a swell of pride. It was a team effort. Together, we made it happen. She turned her attention to the ship's sensors, monitoring the Corran warship's movements. "They're still searching for us. We need to make a plan to counterattack while they're distracted." Commander Grant nodded, contemplating their next move. "If we can create a distraction on the other side of the moon, we could lure them away. Then we can strike from behind." Lyra grinned, inspired by the idea. "What if we set up a decoy using the ship's holographic projectors? We can create the illusion of another ship and draw them in." The Zypherians chimed in, their voices resonating with excitement. "Yes, we can amplify the holographic projections with our energy, making them appear even more realistic." "Let's do it," Grant commanded, his eyes gleaming with determination. "Prepare the decoy and set the holographic projectors to maximum output." As they worked, Lyra felt the thrill of cooperation between their two species. They weren't just defending themselves. They were crafting a strategy that would demonstrate their combined power. Soon, the decoy was ready, a shimmering illusion of a small fleet of Zypherian ships positioned just beyond the moon's surface. "Activate the decoy," Lyra shouted. The holographic ships flickered to life, mimicking the movements of a genuine fleet. The Corran warship's sensors would detect the presence of the decoy, and Lyra hoped it would be enough to lure them away. As expected, the Corran ship's sensors registered the anomaly, and Lyra watched with bated breath. "They're moving toward the decoy," she exclaimed, a thrill of excitement rushing through her. "Now's our chance," Commander Grant said, his voice steady. "Prepare for our counterattack. Zypherians, channel your energy into our weapons again." Lyra felt the atmosphere shift as the crew gathered their strength. They were not just a small fleet. They were united, ready to confront the threat that loomed over them. With the Corran warship drawn away by the holographic decoy, Lyra felt a rush of adrenaline surge through her veins. "This is it," she said, a fierce determination igniting within her. "We need to strike now." "Zypherians, focus your energy," Commander Grant ordered, his voice steady and commanding. The ship thrummed with power as the Zypherians prepared to amplify their weapons once more. Lyra felt the familiar blend of excitement and fear as she glanced at the monitors, which displayed the Corran ship careening toward the decoy. "Ready weapons," Grant shouted. "We'll fire on my mark. On 3, 1, 2, 3. The Zypherian ship erupted in a dazzling burst of energy, the combined force of their life energy and human technology coalescing into a beam of brilliant light. The blast shot toward the Corran warship, striking the hull with a resounding impact. "Direct hit," Lyra cheered, watching as the Corran ship shuddered, its systems faltering. But the Corrans were not defeated yet. They quickly recalibrated and began returning fire, energy blasts arcing through space toward them. "Evasive maneuvers," Grant yelled, steering the ship sharply to the left. Lyra gripped the console as the ship veered away from the incoming fire, her heart racing. They had taken the Corrans by surprise, but they needed to keep moving to avoid being targeted. "Keep firing," Lyra urged, her voice rising above the chaos. The Zypherians responded, unleashing a torrent of energy beams, striking the Corran ship again and again. The brilliance of their combined attacks illuminated the darkness of space, a testament to their unity and strength. But the Corrans were relentless. They began to regroup, forming a tactical formation to counter the human and Zypherian assault. "They're adapting," Grant warned. "We need to find a way to outsmart them." Lyra's mind raced as she considered their options. "What if we exploit their arrogance? They think we're just a tiny fleet. Let's draw them into another ambush. We can use the asteroid field again." "Great idea," Grant exclaimed, the corners of his mouth lifting in a grin. "We can use hit-and-run tactics to keep them off balance." Let's lead them back into the asteroids and then strike from multiple angles. With the plan in place, Lyra and the crew executed their maneuvers flawlessly. They lured the Corran ship into the asteroid field, weaving through the rocks with agile precision. The Corrans, blinded by their overconfidence, pursued with reckless abandon. Now, Grant commanded, we split into two groups. Zypherians, channel your energy into a concentrated blast while we distract them. The crew split, Lyra taking charge of one group while Commander Grant led the other. As they darted through the asteroids, Lyra felt a sense of exhilaration. This was the culmination of their efforts. Their strength as a united front was about to be tested. With the Corrans closing in, Lyra's group launched an attack from the left, sending beams of energy flying toward the Corran ship. At the same time, Grant's group struck from the right, the two assaults converging in a blinding flash of light. The Corran ship, caught between the two attacks, staggered under the force. Lyra could see the chaos unfolding on the ship's monitors, Corran crew members scrambling to respond. "We've got them," she shouted, adrenaline fueling her every word. But the Corrans were not finished. They fired back wildly, energy blasts ricocheting off the asteroids and illuminating the void. Lyra ducked instinctively as a blast zipped past, narrowly missing their ship. "Stay focused," Grant called out. "Keep the pressure on. They're on the defensive now. We just need to maintain our momentum." Lyra directed her crew, ensuring they stayed agile and unpredictable. "We can't let up. Keep firing," she urged, as the Zypherians poured their energy into the assault, sending beams of brilliant light toward the Corran ship. As the battle raged on, Lyra felt a sense of camaraderie building among her crew and the Zypherians. They were fighting not just for their survival, but for each other. Each victory was a testament to their unity, a realization that they were stronger together then. The battle raged on, the vacuum of space filled with the brilliance of energy beams and the chaotic dance of the Corran warship as it struggled to maintain its footing. Lyra, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration, guided her crew with unwavering determination. Each moment felt like a lifetime, but they were gaining ground, forcing the Corrans to adapt and react to their maneuvers. "Keep up the fire," Lyra shouted, her voice resonating through the command center. The Zypherians responded with fervor, channeling their bioluminescent energy into powerful beams that lit up the dark expanse. The Corran ship swayed and staggered, struggling to regain its balance as it absorbed the onslaught. Suddenly, the Corrans launched a counteroffensive, sending waves of drones into the fray. "They're trying to overwhelm us with numbers," Commander Grant warned, his eyes narrowing as he monitored the incoming threats. "We need to split our focus, take out those drones while keeping pressure on the main ship." Lyra's mind raced. If we can divert enough of their attention, we can set up for a final strike on the warship. We just need to buy some time. She turned to the Zypherians. "Can you create a distraction with your energy? Perhaps a pulse that draws their attention?" "Yes," one of the Zypherians responded, their form glowing brighter. "We can emit a burst of energy that simulates a powerful explosion. It will attract their sensors and give you an opening to strike." "Do it," Grant commanded, his eyes focused on the Corran ship. "Zypherians, prepare the energy pulse. On my mark." As the Zypherians concentrated, Lyra could see the shimmering light beginning to build, pulsing in rhythm with their collective energy. "We're ready," the Zypherian leader announced. "Now," Grant shouted. The explosion of light erupted from the Zypherian ship, a dazzling spectacle that filled the void. The Corran drones, drawn by the brilliance, turned to pursue the phantom threat. "It's working." Lyra cheered, feeling the tide of battle shift in their favor. With the Corrans distracted, Lyra turned her focus back to the main warship. "Let's press the advantage," she urged, directing the crew to target the drones and fire with precision. The Zypherian beams sliced through the chaos, knocking drones out of the sky in brilliant bursts of light. The remaining drones began to falter, their numbers dwindling under the relentless assault. "Stay sharp," Grant warned. "We can't let our guard down until we've dealt with that warship." Lyra's heart raced with the thrill of victory. but she knew they couldn't become complacent. "Let's draw them into the asteroid field again," she suggested. "We can use the terrain to our advantage and keep the pressure on." "Agreed," Grant replied, steering the ship toward the cluster of asteroids. The Corran warship, momentarily unfocused, struggled to keep up. Lyra could see the Corrans scrambling to recalibrate their targeting systems, their arrogance slowly crumbling. As they entered the asteroid field, Lyra felt a sense of purpose wash over her. This was their moment, a turning point in the battle that could define their alliance with the Zypherians. "Stay agile. Use the asteroids for cover," she commanded, her voice firm. The ship navigated through the rocks, the crew working in perfect harmony. Lyra directed their movements, feeling the energy of unity fueling her resolve. "Now's our chance. Prepare to strike." With a series of coordinated maneuvers, they emerged from the asteroids, launching a concentrated barrage of energy blasts toward the Corran warship. The beams lit up the dark expanse, striking the ship with precision. Lyra could see the Corran crew scrambling, their ship vibrating under the onslaught. "Keep firing," Grant urged, his voice steady. "We need to maintain the pressure." Lyra's fingers danced over the controls as she directed their fire, adrenaline pumping through her veins. "We're breaking through," she shouted, her voice filled with exhilaration. "We can do this." But just as victory seemed within reach, the Corran warship retaliated with a sudden surge of power. "They're firing back," one of the crew members yelled, panic creeping into their voice. Lyra's heart sank as she watched energy blasts barreling toward them. "Evasive maneuvers. Get us out of the way," she cried, gripping the console tightly. The ship veered sharply, narrowly avoiding the blasts as they streaked past. "We need to regroup and find a way to counterattack," Grant said, determination etched on his face. "Let's draw them in again," Lyra suggested, her mind racing. "We can lead them back toward the asteroid field and use their own arrogance against them. They won't expect us to turn and fire." "Good thinking," Grant replied, his eyes gleaming with renewed hope. "Let's set it up." As they prepared for the next phase, Lyra felt a surge of confidence. They had come so far, and the bond between humanity and the Zypherians had proven to be a formidable force. They were more than just allies. They were a unified front, ready to confront any threat together. "Let's do this," Lyra shouted, rallying her crew. "Together, we'll show them what we're made of." With renewed energy, Lyra led her team in a calculated retreat, drawing the Corran warship deeper into the asteroid field. The Corrans, blinded by their overconfidence, followed eagerly, unaware of the trap waiting for them. "Now," Grant commanded as they rounded a cluster of asteroids, "prepare to fire on my mark." Lyra felt the thrill of anticipation. They were on the cusp of victory, a culmination of their efforts and unity. "This is our moment," she yelled, determination burning in her chest. As the Corran ship closed in, Lyra could see their arrogance beginning to falter. The Corrans, caught in their own trap, had no idea what awaited them. "Now, fire!" Grant shouted. The ship erupted with energy, beams of light striking the Corran warship from all sides. The chaos unfolded, the Corran crew scrambling to regain control, but it was too late. Lyra watched as the ship began to falter, its hull buckling under the intensity of the assault. "Keep firing. Don't let up," she urged, her voice filled with fervor. The Corran warship, once a symbol of fear, now struggled to maintain its defenses. Lyra could see the panic spreading among the Corran crew as their systems failed. "We're winning," she shouted, exhilaration flooding her senses. But just as victory seemed assured, a chilling realization washed over her. "Wait, they're initiating self-destruct," a crew member yelled, panic lacing their voice. "What?" Grant exclaimed, eyes widening in shock. "They're trying to take us with them." Lyra's heart raced. "We need to get out of here, now." "Prepare for emergency jump," Grant commanded, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. "Zypherians, channel your energy to assist the jump." As the Corran warship began to implode, a brilliant flash of light erupted, illuminating the void. Lyra felt the force of the explosion reverberate through the ship, her heart pounding with urgency. Now, activate the jump. In a blinding burst of light, the Zypherian ship surged forward, propelled by the combined energies of the crew. Lyra could feel the strain as they escaped the grasp of the imminent explosion, hurtling into the depths of space. As they emerged on the other side, Lyra's breath caught in her throat. The Koran warship was gone, a flash of brilliance replaced by the emptiness of space. They had done it. They had triumphed against overwhelming odds. "We did it!" Lyra exclaimed, turning to the crew, her heart swelling with pride. "We won!" Cheers erupted from the crew, their voices ringing out in celebration. The Zypherians pulsed with joy, their bodies glowing in brilliant colors. They had proven their strength, their unity shining through the darkness of space. But Lyra knew that this victory was only the beginning. They had forged a bond that transcended their differences, a partnership that could change the course of their destinies. "We've shown the Korans what we're capable of," she said, her voice filled with hope. "Now we must continue to strengthen this alliance." Commander Grant nodded, a proud smile on his face. "We've shown them that together we are unstoppable. The galaxy has a new force to reckon with." The remnants of the battle hung in the void, an eerie calm settling over the Zypherian ship. Lyra stood on the bridge, her heart still racing from the adrenaline of the fight. Her crew, still buzzing with excitement, exchanged cheers and high fives, a chorus of joy echoing throughout the command center. It was a moment of triumph, a celebration of their hard-fought victory against the Koran threat. But Lyra knew that this victory was more than just a battle won. It was a signal to the galaxy. The alliance between humans and Zypherians was not just a fluke. It was a force to be reckoned with. "Let's take a moment to regroup," Lyra announced, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "We've accomplished something incredible today, but we need to assess the damage and plan our next steps." Grant nodded, his expression serious. "Right. We need to ensure our systems are functioning properly and that we're ready for whatever might come next." As the crew settled into their tasks, Lyra felt a profound sense of pride swell within her. They had faced insurmountable odds, and together they had triumphed. "Let's do a full scan of the area," she instructed, turning to one of the crew members. "We need to ensure there are no remaining Koran ships lurking in the shadows." The crew worked diligently, their movements synchronized as they ran diagnostics on the ship's systems and scanned the surrounding space. Lyra glanced out the viewport, the stars twinkling in the vast expanse, a reminder of how small they were in the grand scheme of the universe. Yet today they had made a mark. "Captain," a crew member called out, breaking Lyra's reverie, "we've detected some debris from the Koran ship. It appears they've been severely damaged." "Let's analyze it," Lyra replied, her curiosity piqued. "There may be valuable intelligence we can gather from the wreckage." As they processed the data, Lyra turned to Grant, her mind racing with possibilities. "This could be our chance to understand more about the Korans, their technology, their strategies. If we can get our hands on some of their systems, we might be able to anticipate their moves in the future." "Agreed," Grant replied, a spark of excitement igniting in his eyes. "We need to send a team to the debris field and recover what we can." Lyra quickly assembled a small team of volunteers, a mix of humans and Zypherians ready to explore the wreckage. "We'll need to work quickly," she urged, glancing at the Zypherian leader. "We don't know when the Korans will regroup or if they have reinforcements on the way." The team prepped for the mission, gearing up and checking their equipment. Lyra felt a wave of pride wash over her as she watched the unity between the humans and Zypherians. They had come together in a way she had never imagined, forging bonds that transcended species and cultures. As they departed from the ship, Lyra felt the thrill of exploration pulsing through her veins. They approached the debris field, a haunting landscape of twisted metal and scattered remnants of the Koran warship. "Keep your eyes peeled," she instructed. "We don't want any surprises." They navigated the wreckage with care, collecting data and scanning for any signs of technology that could provide insight into the Korans. Lyra's heart raced as she spotted a portion of the ship's command center partially intact amid the chaos. "Over there," she shouted, pointing toward the debris. "Let's see what we can find." As they approached the section, Lyra felt a mix of anticipation and trepidation. Inside, they discovered Quarren technology, interfaces, weapons, and data consoles that glowed faintly with residual energy. "This is it," Lyra exclaimed, her excitement bubbling over. "We might learn how to counter their tactics and improve our defenses." The team worked diligently, carefully extracting technology and data drives while keeping an eye on their surroundings. "I'm picking up some encrypted data," one of the crew members announced, focused on a console. "If we can decode this, it might provide us with critical intel on their strategies." "Great work. Let's get everything we can back to the ship," Lyra said, her voice steady. "We'll analyze it all once we're safe." As they collected the last of the Quarren technology, Lyra felt a sense of accomplishment. They were not just surviving. They were learning, adapting, and growing stronger. This alliance was more than a partnership. It was the dawn of a new era. Once back aboard their ship, Lyra and Grant gathered their crew to review the findings. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation as the crew worked to decode the data they had retrieved. Lyra watched as the screens filled with information, revealing plans and strategies that would give them an edge in future encounters. "Look at this," one of the crew members exclaimed, pointing to a series of diagrams. "It appears they have a centralized command system. If we can disrupt that during battle, we might throw their entire fleet into chaos." Lyra's eyes widened as she absorbed the information. "This changes everything," she said, a mix of awe and determination flooding her voice. "If we can take out their command ship first, we can turn the tide in any battle." Grant nodded, a fierce glint in his eye. "We need to develop a plan. If we can outmaneuver them, we can leverage our knowledge of their strategies and come out on top." The crew worked late into the night, their minds buzzing with ideas and strategies. Lyra felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had the tools they needed to protect their worlds and secure their alliance. They were no longer the underdogs. They were a formidable force ready to take on any challenge. As the hours passed, the crew's camaraderie deepened, a sense of belonging weaving through them. They shared stories, laughter, and aspirations, united in their quest to protect their home and one another. Eventually, as the first light of dawn began to filter through the viewport, Lyra gathered everyone together. "What we've accomplished here is nothing short of extraordinary. We've faced adversity and emerged stronger. This alliance is just the beginning of our journey. We'll continue to learn, grow, and stand together against any threat." The crew erupted into cheers, their spirits soaring. They knew that the path ahead wouldn't be easy, but with their combined strengths, they could overcome any obstacle. As they set their course for home, Lyra gazed out at the stars, feeling a sense of hope swell within her. They were not just a crew, they were pioneers of a new era, an era where humanity and Zypherians stood together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, Lyra whispered, a promise to herself and her crew. "We will forge a new destiny for ourselves, one filled with hope and strength." As the ship glided through the stars, the future ahead shone brightly, and Lyra knew that this was only the beginning of their adventures. The galaxy awaited, and with her crew by her side, she was ready to embrace whatever came next. As the Zypherian ship drifted through the stars, Lyra felt a sense of purpose surging within her. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The universe was vast and full of challenges, but with allies like the Zypherians by their side, they were ready to face whatever came next.